Hi, folks. I'm Jamie Hiles.
I'm Lydia Judy.
I'm Derek Lemaster.
This is Screen Bloody Movies, a podcast where we re-review a horror movie each week. We go over the horror news. And guys, welcome to Jurassic Park. Because this week we are stepping into the world of awe and wonder and magic and scares and thrills and perfection, if I'm going to be honest, when we talk about Steven Spielberg's 1993 classic. We'll throw some other adjectives at this as we fillet this movie, probably. Jurassic Park. Guys, how are you doing this evening?
Doing great. Got to watch Jurassic Park. I'm happy.
Yeah. How can you watch Jurassic Park and be in a bad mood, right?
True.
I mean, unless you watch Jurassic World Dominion. Then you could probably be in a bad mood. But
then I'm almost always in a bad mood.
But we're not watching that. We are watching Jurassic Park, Steven Spielberg's Jurassic Park. Guys, we got a lot to dig into with this one. I can't wait to talk to you about your memories of it, your thoughts of it, and how you feel it works and why it works. But before we get into all that, I have a little teeny bit of horror news. And some of it's some big news. We'll start off with the biggest news of the day, which is, guys, Blumhouse. After some of their last couple movies, they are Blumhouse. But anyway, Blumhouse has officially bought the rights to the Saw franchise, with James Wan and Lee Whannell rejoining the team.
Holy snap!
What do you guys think of this news?
Lee Whannell, James Wan, my favorite people.
So I only watched like the first 2 or 3.
You watched the first 3 because we watched the first 3 together.
I don't know where you go unless you reboot.
Well, you haven't watched any of the other ones, so you don't even know.
It's like
there's a reason why
they keep going.
It. Like
they keep going. Some of them are good. Some of them are really good. Actually, here the newest one was the best. And we have to get through all of those. I mean, that's ones we got to start tackling because there's a lot. But I'm excited to just have James Wan and Lee Whannell attached. I mean, when those two guys get together, they make magic, right?
Yes, absolutely.
Yeah, Lydia, I think we've only done Saw 1.
Okay.
I do believe. Isn't that right, Derek?
Like one of my favorites.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, we've only done the first one.
We've only done the first Saw. So I'm excited to see what that's going to bring us. All right. This is cool news, guys. I'm going to share my screen here so you can see it. But Godzilla is getting an official Lego set based on a fan-built design.
Gosh.
Isn't that fun?
Oh my gosh, that looks impossible.
Look at that. This is a fan-made did this, and now Lego's making their own with this design. How incredible is that?
That's really neat. I can't even. Oh my gosh, that would take forever for me to try to put that together.
Yeah, that looks pretty intense.
Yeah, I mean, come on, it's Godzilla. Godzilla is the best. I'm glad the King of the Monsters is 60 plus years strong, still just kicking ass. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And putting out some of his best movies, by the way. We got not only the Godzilla vs. Kong movies, which are a lot of fun, but we got Godzilla -1, which is a fucking masterpiece if you haven't seen it. It rocks. So guys, Mindhunter, right? You guys familiar?
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
I think I know.
It has been reported, based Holt McCallany, who plays the partner in Mindhunter, has said that he had a meeting with David Fincher a few months ago, saying that they might there's a chance that they'll have them come back for 3 2-hour movies to finish the series.
3 2-hour movies.
Yes. I'm excited. Mindhunter was amazing.
It's so good. Oh my gosh, it's so good.
Amazing. Derek, did you see Mindhunter?
I saw the first season.
it's
and
amazing.
then I just haven't had a chance. It was really good.
Yeah.
I just haven't had a chance to complete it.
Yeah. Can't wait to watch that. I hope that comes to fruition because that'll be like amazing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Like, please make that thing.
I've got a little bit of kind of disappointing news. We have I have a somewhat of a Hatchet 5 update, Derek. And basically, Adam was asked about it when he was on a podcast recently, and he said that it's always a possibility to make another Hatchet. He's that I can't go into the minutia because it would take up 6 more hours. But the long story short is, once we can make the movie with different entities behind the scenes at the top level, then I'd be interested in doing Hatchet 5. But things need to change. That's probably enough. People can make of that what they want. Then he continues, the creative team is still very much a happy family and would love to do it. But we need to be under new management. Maybe that's the best way to put it. The diplomatic way to put it, I think the old management knows at this point, I'm not kidding when I keep saying that I'm not going to do it. So we'll see what happens. So essentially,
Who owns the rights to that?
Dark Skies Films, I think, owns the rights to it. Which was part of what happened when he sold the rights to make the movie. He sold the rights, and now they kind of, are the gatekeeper. So he needs somebody else to kind of, be the backers. And I, if we had the money after we make our movie, we'd totally be those people. You're like, Adam, yeah, make Hatchet 5. We'll be down. So hopefully they get that worked out because I want to see another. Especially the way Victor Crowley ends, Derek. They set up so much. We haven't got there yet on the podcast, and Lenny has not seen it. But the way it ends sets up so much for the future. This is kind of cool. We got some 50th anniversary merch for Jaws, guys. I know you want to see this stuff. You love this stuff, Lydia.
50th anniversary.
I know. So, check it out.
Oh my gosh.
Yeah, so we have the shark.
Whoa.
Print's awesome,
That
right?
looked pretty good.
Love it.
Yeah, print's amazing. Look at this. So we got the book. We got the freaking record. Look at that. Beautiful. Beautiful.
Whoa.
I mean, come on,
Looks like
right?
that record had a bite taken out of it.
I know. I wonder how it will even play. Because it's only, Jaws, the main title, and Jaws, the main title, alternate on
Right.
it. But that's cool as hell. I would love to get some of this stuff for, like, collectibles. Because Jaws is one of my favorites, obviously. It's one of the best.
Yeah. Yep.
It's just, I own it on 4K. They just released the 4K Steelbook special edition of it. I already own it, so I don't need it, but it's a beautiful movie. So, we talked about Clayface last week. Remember this?
Yep.
Well, they have cast Clayface. It is Tom Rice Harris from the Slaughterhouse Rules. You guys know who he is?
Nope.
Right
I can't
here
see.
is him.
My screen froze.
Yep, don't know that guy.
This is him.
Never heard of him.
Yep, he's from that movie. He has been cast. He's a 34-year-old actor. He's appeared on Jekyll and Hyde, Midsummer Murders, Suspicion, Doctor Who. So a lot of stuff that we probably haven't seen. But it is Flanagan's script is. They're moving forward with Mike Flanagan's script. The director, James Watkins, is moving forward. And so this thing's being made, guys. It's kind of being fast-tracked, it looks like. Because just, I think maybe a month ago, Mike Flanagan said, I don't know what they're doing with it. And then now we're getting, oh, by the way, it's being cast and all this shit's moving forward. So, and then last but not least, speaking of our good friend Mike Flanagan, he has announced the start of filming on that Carrie TV series. So it is currently shooting. I'm excited for that. I think that's going to be awesome.
I think we're gonna have to do Carrie for our Stinker King Timber
Yes,
month
we
of
will.
Stephen King movies.
We'll have to do Carrie. We'll have to do. There's a couple that I think we need to do.
Even
we'll
though that
talk
one's not
about.
a stinker.
No, it's not a stinker at all. It's a great one. But we could balance it out by doing like I don't know. Sometimes they come back again or something,
There you go.
which is not very good if you've not seen it. But we'll get to it. And that wraps up the horror news. Now, guys, picture it. It's 1993.
I was just born.
I was a wee lad.
The best year ever.
I turned 10.
I turned 7. And I remember this vividly, but I want to hear your guys' take first. Do you guys remember seeing you don't, Lydia, obviously, but Derek, do you remember seeing the trailers for this? Do you remember going the first time you watched it was?
I don't recall the first time I watched. I remember the trailers. I remember watching the movie, obviously, and I've seen it a couple of times. But I don't remember the first time that I'm trying to think if I would have went to the movie theaters to watch this. I'm pretty sure I did.
Lydia, do you remember first time you watched Jurassic Park and heard about it?
I do. I remember the first time I watched Jurassic Park. I don't remember if I had like heard about it or like I don't know. I guess like it was at a point in my life where it was just like my dad would put movies on and I would just be in the room, like playing with my Barbies or something. And I remember seeing this movie and just not being able to take my eyes off the screen. And the raptor scene, specifically in the kitchen with the kids, really affected me.
Yep, it's a fucking all-timer. We'll get to it.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's awesome. So here's my story with this, because this is like one of those touchstone movies for me, because I remember everything about this experience vividly. I remember seeing the trailers. I was a 7-year-old kid. I was, obviously dinosaurs are really fucking cool when you're 7, and when you're 39, they're still cool. But
I had all the toys, like all the Jurassic Park toys.
Dude, I was all about. I remember seeing the trailer. I remember being so excited about this movie coming out. I remember talking to mom and dad about it. Oh, you got to see Jurassic Park. I remember being so excited about it, and then I remember taking my parents taking me to the movies to go see it. And for some reason, they didn't have we didn't have a babysitter, so they took Jacob with us, and he was a baby, in 1993, and so we had to go up to the nursery. And at the theater they had like a nursery that had like a glass, and then it had like a speakers, system, so you could hear the movie, but the rest of the audience wouldn't hear, the rest of the people wouldn't hear you talking or whatever, or crying.
Where?
Whoa! Wait! Where did you go?
This was in Logansport.
Whoa, that's like
yes. There was like
it
just had like a glass. You mean like plexiglass or something? And then they had the speaker, and then
what?
So I remember Jake was sitting over here. Mom was with Jake and stuff, and I remember I was just in front of everybody. None of this mattered. I didn't hear anything. And I just watched Jurassic Park. I remember just being swept away into this world. I remember when we see the Brontosaurus for the first time.
Yeah.
I remember just being like, I remember literally thinking to my little brain, they just brought dinosaurs to life. They just filmed real dinosaurs. That's the only way I could fathom it. Because I knew about animatronics. I knew about Ninja Turtles were guys in suits and all that stuff. I knew that stuff.
Yeah.
But this was different. This was real.
Yes.
This was real. And I remember just kind of being blown away. And then I remember after I had this experience with this movie, going to my grandma and grandpa's, my dad's parents, And I remember Dad saying, "Oh yeah, we went and saw Jurassic Park," and Grandpa was asking how it was, and I remember telling Grandpa, they brought dinosaurs. They brought dinosaurs back to life. Like it's real. Like it's just. I said, I know it's not real, but it's like they're real. And I remember trying to tell my grandpa how much he needs to go see this movie. It's just like I was pitching it to everyone that I could. Jurassic Park. And then it took forever to come out on VHS. I think it took like almost 2 years. I think it didn't come out until like 95 on VHS or close. And in the meantime, the only way you could see it was on like NBC would have a special airing on it on holidays or something. But Jurassic Park Mania hit, man. I remember having the toys. I had some stuffed dinos with Jurassic Park logos. I had some of the action figures. I had the games. The Sega Genesis game of this thing is amazing because you could play as either Alan Grant or the Velociraptor.
Yes.
Like you could do a story mode with each.
Do you remember the game that was like you would like battle the dinosaurs?
Mm-hmm.
It was like PlayStation.
Yeah, that was later.
Just, like,
yeah.
Was my shit.
Dude, the Sega Genesis game was amazing because like the intro, like the graphics were awesome, and like the intro was like scary because it was the T-Rex attack, and the T-Rex growls Sega at the beginning, which is fucking hilarious. But dude, I was a Jurassic Park mania, so yeah, this had a huge impact on me. And then time went on or whatever, and I didn't see it for a while. And then now it's like not like I don't watch it every year, but it's in a regular rotation where I'm like, you know what? I think I want to watch a great adventure. Let's put in Jurassic Park because you can't go wrong with it. So, guys, where do you want to start with this? Like, I mean, well, let's start at the beginning because I know that's what we like to do because this opening scene is phenomenal. It's so good, right?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. I mean, it really sets the tone for the entire movie.
In the direction, just it sets you're getting like little glimpses of story. It's kind of unfolding stuff, but you don't know what's in that crate, and it's just this. It's so scary when it starts attacking, and then Muldoon's shoot her. It's just so fucking good, dude. The lighting.
It's so intense. It's so chaotic and jarring, and like, oh my gosh! Every time I see it, I'm just like, I'm transported back to that like little kid me watching it, just being like, oh no,
this might be too scary for my life.
Yes, it just sets that tone of like, this is about to get like chaotic, scary.
Yeah, Yeah, it's so good. And then I love the introduction to our characters too. Like, I mean, Dr. Grant and Dr. Sadler are amazing.
Amazing. Fantastic.
It's some of the best characters, and the actors that are playing him, my God, Sam Neill is so good in this. He's just so like funny, and he's great. And Laura Dern is amazing and beautiful and like awesome. But these characters, what do you guys think of their introduction scene?
Iconic. It's so iconic.
I mean, it's like they disclose a ton of information about the relationship, about their futures, like what they hope to do, and I mean they're on a dig, they're on a site. Yep. The introduction of technology, and Grant is old school and doesn't like it. It's
all of that, yeah. And then his hesitancy with kids, and that arc that pays off throughout the movie. It's such good storytelling. It's just such good storytelling.
Yeah, it really is. It really is.
And then that scene with the kid is so good.
Yeah,
he freaking slashes him with the claw.
Oh, that one. Yeah.
So like, funny.
That kid will not sleep.
Those are the kind of lines that like there's so many iconic lines in this movie that you just have to like quote along with it as it's playing, and those are like some of the ones where it's like, You just find yourself like saying it like a song almost.
Yeah, he's like, the fact of the matter is, you're alive now because he's not. So how about you show a little respect?
Yes.
So good. And then she says, "Hey, Alan, if you wanted to scare the kid, you could have just pulled a gun on him."
Yes. It's so funny. Like, I love that. I love everything about it.
Yeah, he's like, they smell. They don't. Some of them smell.
Baby smell.
So a little quick before we move on, a little quick side note about Alan Grant. Alan Grant was originally offered to Harrison Ford.
Oh,
Really?
That's who Steven Spielberg wanted for Alan Grant. And when you see the drawings of storyboards, it's Harrison Ford as Grant.
wow.
But Harrison Ford had just come off of, I think he was filming The Fugitive at that time. So he just came off of a Jack Ryan movie, was filming The Fugitive, and it's like he didn't want to take on another big movie. And he's like, and he kind of felt like it maybe I'll be like Indiana Jones-ish if I do this or whatever. And Sam Neill's great. I'm glad he gets
That's a
cast.
good point.
But guys, Harrison Ford in this movie would have fucking ripped.
Yeah.
Especially 90s Harrison Ford. Come on.
Dude, like, and I had such a crush on Indiana Jones when I was little. Like, that would have been like just too much.
Yeah, no, I'm glad that Sam Neill ended up playing him because he made Dr. Grant a different character.
Yeah,
great in it.
I love him. I love his character in this.
Speaking of great characters and great, astonishing acting, casting choices, is we get to meet John Hammond in this scene, played by the great Richard Attenborough, who just had won an Oscar as Best Director for Gandhi, right before this movie was made. And then Steven Spielberg approached him, "Hey, do you want to be in this movie?" And he hadn't acted in a while. He hadn't acted since like the 70s. He was like, "Oh yeah, that would be fun," and loved it. Loved the whole experience of it. Loved working with Spielberg.
Dude.
Loved his character. He's magical in this movie.
Yes, dude. Like, there is something so perfect about him. Like, he's like the most lovable bad guy.
So here's the thing: in the novel, he's a straight up villain. He's a villain.
Yeah.
In the movie, he's not a villain. He's not a bad guy. Yeah. He's not a bad guy. He is a dreamer.
Yeah,
that
he's unknowingly
doesn't think about the consequences of the dream. And look, I relate to that guy. I relate to the dreamer. Always, I relate to the dreamers.
Yeah.
So even as a kid, I was like, he's so like grandfatherly. He's so like, you could tell his heart's in the right place.
Santa Claus, like he's got that excitement.
He is Santa Claus. He is Santa Claus, actually, in Miracle on 31st Street.
On 31st, yeah,
he sure is. But
I forgot about that.
Yeah, it's a good one. That's a pretty good one too. But yeah, he's so good, and the character is so different. Like, that was one of the changes they made, was because Spielberg also is the dreamer, and it's like, here's the thing: in the book, you don't want to see the stuff happen. In the movie, you want Jurassic Park to work. You want it to work because you want to see the awe and wonder.
Yes, the excitement that they are all experiencing.
You want to see it, but
it's contagious.
Yes, but obviously, as we find out when we meet our other hero, that's not the case. Because the rounding out our trio of leads is Jeff Goldblum as Dr. Ian Malcolm, and he's utterly fantastic, right?
Genuinely.
Yeah. No, he really is.
What a great character! What a great character! And what a
great
performance.
I don't know that he would be that character without like the like those little things that Jeff Goldblum like brings to his characters. Like,
correct. Yeah. The Goldblumism is what makes the movie, what makes his character.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's little choices he makes. The life finds a way. The pauses, the stammering, just
it's not like that in the book.
No. And he also dies in the original novel, by the way. Though
I'm glad
it's
that they
retconned. It's retconned in the sequel novel. In The Lost World, it's retconned. He just was injured.
Right.
In the novel. And so because he's the main character in the sequel, so they just retcon it. But originally in the actual novel, he dies, and he's not near as cool as he is in the in the movie. He is a rock star.
Yeah, he kind of introduces the chaos theory like straight out the gate in the books, I think.
Yeah.
And then it's like
you don't get to. He's not introduced like this cool, in this. He kind of introduces it too, but he introduces it in a like fun way, in a charismatic way, and you're just kind of like, oh, okay. I can't take my eyes off this guy. This guy's cool as hell.
It's subtle in the movie, but in the book, it's like a big deal.
Yeah, it's so cool.
Well, and he definitely tries to.
He tries to woo. Yes, he tries to woo Ellie Sattler for sure. Which could you blame him? I would try to woo Ellie Sattler.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah,
still to this day.
So
she looks the same.
I don't want to get away from this movie, but like they bring these characters back in a future movie, right? And
they bring them back. Multiple movies. So Alan Grant returns in part 3. Ian Malcolm returns in part 2, and then Ian Malcolm returns in the Fallen Kingdom. No, in Dominion. Yeah, which one's which? So the second Jurassic World movie, he returns in. Then in the third one, which I think is Dominion, in the third one, all of them return.
So I've never seen the second or
Ellie,
third.
Are Dr. Grant and Ellie together in all those?
We'll have to watch and see.
Oh,
they are not. No, they're not.
In the third one, I know they're not.
And the third one, they're not. And then in the fourth one, and then in the last one, they reconnect. They do reconnect by the end of the movie.
Oh, interesting.
Yep. It's actually, the third movie is not great, but the Alan Grant, Dr. Sattler, Ian Malcolm stuff is actually fantastic in it. All that stuff is good. I watched it specifically for that, and I was like, I like all this stuff. The rest of it, meh. But this...
Man, we got to talk about those someday.
Yeah, we will. But yes, he's great. He's fantastic, guys. Also in this opening stuff, we get introduced to our true villain of the movie, which is Wayne Knight as Dennis Nedry.
No,
guys, what do you think of Dennis Nedry?
Yeah, he is not a good person.
Dotson, we got Dotson here. See, nobody cares.
And he's playing it so cool until the point where he's about to perform it, and then he gets super fucking awkward.
Yeah, he does.
Okay, guys, I'm going to go to the vending machines and get a Coke. I was just going to check and see if anybody wanted one. And, I'm going to go to the vending machines, and I'll be right back. And
I'll go run a couple tests on all these. Blah blah blah. Yeah.
That was so good.
He does. It's so funny. Yeah, it's so good.
No one would have looked at that guy and been like, "Yeah, nothing's going on."
Well, they just learned to ignore him. So they just like, what the fuck ever, Nedry, get out of here.
Yeah, they just can't stand him, so they're just like, whatever.
And what's also funny is later when everything's going to shit, Hammond said, "Where is Nedry? Check the vending machines." It always makes me laugh. I mean, he says it because he said he was going to go to the vending machines, but it's like the thought is that he's so fat that he's just hanging out at the
He's just like, this guy's always taking trips to the dang vending machine.
Well, and I had forgotten that Samuel L. Jackson is in this movie, and whenever he goes over to his workstation, he's like throwing. She's like, "Look at this workstation! It's disgusting."
Yeah. What a slob! It's my favorite. Yeah.
Dude, I mean, talk about the most iconic line in the movie.
Hold on to your butts.
Yes, dude. I say that so often. I realize how often I say that, and it's too much. I say it too much.
It's a great one. It's a great one.
I literally just was like in the car and just like said it like the other day, and I was like,
another one of the best characters, which we're introduced in the very first scene, which is Robert Muldoon. I love this guy. He's so cool, man.
He is cool.
When I was a kid, he was one of my favorites, and when he dies, it's always devastating to me.
Yep.
So it's like, oh man, look how cool he is. Like he's like, shh. They're coming up. Quiet, everyone. They're coming upon the Tyrannosaur. Pat it. And you're like, oh man, this guy's the coolest.
He's like, just hates the whole thing.
He hates the velociraptors. He knows how dangerous they are. They're learning. It's just so good.
And if he had listened to Dr. Grant's speech, he would have known.
Yep, that's foreshadowing. That speech is foreshadowing for that scene.
Oh, for sure. Yeah.
Yep, definitely.
So let's talk about that first scene where we see the dinosaurs, guys. When they arrive on Jurassic Park, the iconic scene of, Dr. Grant taking off his glasses and raising up, and then we see the majesty of Jurassic Park. That shit still holds up, right?
Dude,
100%.
It like
Especially, oh, go ahead, Lydia.
no, go ahead.
Any interaction that they have, because of the way that because they designed them, because they were practical, still looks like $1 million. It looks so good. Like when it's a little later, but like when he's laying on the dinosaur and it's breathing, you're just like, motherfucker.
Yep.
They did bring back dinosaurs.
Yeah.
For
real.
Yeah, that money shot when we first see
the Brachiosaurus.
Brachiosaurus, and it's just right there, and it's so huge, and like,
and the music swells, so you're like,
you're like, oh yeah, you get chills. Dude, my heart wells up.
My eyes water. Like
I get like a lump in my throat. I was like, this is this movie magic, man.
It is, dude. It's incredible.
Especially that shot when you see when you see all of them, you see them flying, you see all of them grazing. You're just like, oh my god, this is amazing. So I watched this on I have the 4K of this. So I watched the 4K on my giant TV with the surround sound system.
I'm so jealous.
The kid, my wife and son were both asleep.
The kid
and the wife were both asleep. And I was like, maybe I should keep it kind of down, but I couldn't. So I turned it up. And I mean, I didn't have it like at 80 where the whole house was shaking, but I had it loud enough that I could hear and I could feel everything, So the music swells and I could hear the footsteps behind me on these speakers. The whole system. I was just like, I had not watched it with my new sound system. This is the first time I watched it, and it was like a theatrical experience almost. And I was just like, boom, 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 and I was like, oh my god! Especially when the T-Rex attack happens, which we'll get to. Incredible.
Oh,
so
I'm
guys,
so jealous of that.
The introduction of Lex and Tim. Lex and Tim are some of the best kid characters. They managed to not be annoying at all.
Yep.
You genuinely care about them. They're funny and they're helpful.
They're realistic.
Yeah, they're just a lot of fun. What do you guys think of Lex and Tim?
I love Lex and Tim. They're great.
Yeah.
They're great kids. They're the kind of kids that make you want to be a parent. They're like, you're like, well, these ones aren't so bad.
Well, and so there was really good writing in the story, obviously, but like, so kids a lot of times get fixated, and dinosaurs are a very popular topic. Mm-hmm. So the fact that he is just like this little dinosaur expert just really drives home with me. So funny story, Quincy's brother, when he was about 7 or 8, he watched this movie, and there are certain scenes that absolutely terrified him. He would hide behind the couch and like peek out.
Yeah, scary shit. There's some scary shit in this one. Yeah, we'll get to it.
But he loved dinosaurs. Like, he knows all the names of all the dinosaurs. So like, it's so relatable, and I love his interaction. And he just wants to be with Grant. And Grant gets him in the car. It's like, which car are you going to be in? Whichever one you're in.
Yeah, I love that.
The door.
The button. I love the button in that scene where Ellie pops up and he goes. She said, I should ride with you because it'd be good for you. And he looks at her. And they cut, and then they're in separate Jeeps. But it's so good. And then I love the bit where we don't see any of the dinosaurs. We just see their paddocks. And then Malcolm bangs on the camera and says, we are going to see dinosaurs on your dinosaur tour. I hate that man.
Yes.
So, another thing I've always loved as a kid, and I think is one of the all-time greatest show don't tell pieces of exposition, which is the Mr. DNA scene. Because I think Mr. DNA was a brilliant way to explain the science of this movie without it being boring, without there just being people talking in a room, and without the whole story just stopping so we know what's going on. And without the whole time people being like, well, how'd they bring him back? So instead, we get this fun cartoon played as a ride that literally solves that exposition problem. It's a brilliant filmmaking technique.
It is so brilliant.
Because you're interested in it.
Like you said, it's like they're literally still moving like while this is happening. Yeah, like it's like there's no stopping.
Yeah,
and it's like
momentum
fun.
still.
It's fun and funny and quirky, and it totally works in every way. It works in every
Well,
way.
yeah, and I think the reason why it literally is a perfect way to do it is because you're at a goddamn theme park.
Yeah.
And this is the first stop of the attraction. Like, they explain it to you. So it like plays into the story like, you know, a key in a lock. It was great.
Perfect. Yeah, perfect. And I always loved Mr. DNA. Just and I
Dino
love the
DNA.
Dino DNA. I always say that. But yeah, I love
too.
all of those. Love all of those bits. I love the there's a great shot where we kind of push in on Grant as he's watching the video. We're like at a low angle on him, and we kind of push in on him. It's such a Spielberg shot. We push in from this kind of wide to this super close, and I'm just like, oh man, like I just like, God damn it, you're the best of all time. Like, this movie is just amazing. So, by the way, this movie was shot by, you know who, guys? It was lensed by Dean Cundy, the director of photography of Halloween. The guy that shot Halloween shot Jurassic Park. Yeah,
motherfucker.
Tons of things like who shot or Who Framed Roger Rabbit. You know, all the John Carpenter movies of the '80s he shot. But yeah, amazing. It's amazing stuff. He also shot Hook. But man, there's just some great.
So you're
stuff.
telling me this guy's a legend?
He's a legend. Dean Cundy is a cinematography legend. I love Dean Cundy's work. But guys, when we get like when the shit goes down finally, because we get to see the Triceratops that's sick, and that's another awe moment, right? Like you were saying, Derek, when he's, you know, because it's like that's not CGI, that's an animatronic, and it looks so good. Like when like you were saying, when he's laying on her side and she's breathing on him, it's just makes it feel so alive. In the way like it's laying there and interacting. There's a bit where Ellie's right there, and Lex comes over, and she starts pawing at her with the paw, and I'm just like, oh my god, it's like a real animal. That is crazy.
It's so real. Do you guys remember the meme that was going around that was like Spielberg kneeling next to the Triceratops?
Oh,
and someone was like, wow, this guy killed the last Triceratops monster.
Yeah, I do remember that. Yeah.
He looked like a
just
poacher.
To make a movie. Yeah. Yeah, that seems great. But
yeah, it really like the tongue and the eyes. Like there's just nothing about it that says animatronic. It's like
there's not a false note in it. Yeah, there's not a false note in it.
Yeah.
But this movie would not have worked if they I mean, CGI at that point was not even.
Well, this movie is what breaks CGI. This is what did it. There's tons of shots in this movie that are pure CGI.
That are, yeah. But like those the ones where they're directly interacting with with the dinosaurs, like it would have. I'm glad that they did the way.
So here's what's crazy. Before the CGI breakthroughs that happen, right? Because the special effects in this movie are ace. Still, they are fucking flawless. What's crazy about this, and the reason that they work so well, is because of the way they're hidden in the lighting, right? The way they're lit definitely hides the CGI flaws that would be there, and it's just so perfect. But originally, this movie was going to be made with a technique called go motion, which is a stop motion technique developed by Phil Tippett, who was a stop motion master. And so Phil Tippett was there. He was originally working on it. There's actually, if you get the special features on the DVD or Blu-rays or 4Ks, you see the test reels of the go motion. And it's literally like Jason and the Argonauts, except
it's stop motion. Yeah,
it's stop motion.
Definitely stop motion.
And that's what they were originally going to use to make the movie. And then ILM got the breakthrough. They're like, well, let's see what this looks like. And they showed Steven Spielberg a walking T-Rex skeleton. Mm-hmm. And
it was the a Gallimimus.
Yeah, the Gallimimus. Yeah,
yeah.
And when he saw that, it broke him. And then when they built the T-Rex skeleton without skin that was walking, it's like, we could fucking do this. I think we can do this. And so they switched gears, and Phil Tippett became the dinosaur consultant because he helped with the movement and design of the dinosaurs. And the line where they say to Grant, well, I just, I'm out of a job, and Goldblum says, "Don't you mean extinct?"
Yeah,
That's
Yeah.
because that Phil Tippett said that.
because he was like, "Well, I'm out of a job. I am
Yep.
extinct."
Yep, I am extinct because CGI is here. But yeah, so
I want the cut of the stop motion Jurassic Park though, just for fun.
it'd be chintzy as hell, I can tell you, because I remember seeing him. I was like,
Yeah.
I tell you this movie would not have made like a fucking, the $1 billion that it fucking made if they looked like that.
The impact.
You know what
that
I
it
mean?
had. But the fact that
Yeah.
Spielberg was like going to do it is like, well, it must have been.
It was it was a top of the line technology at the time,
Yeah.
and he was also gonna substitute it with the animatronics still.
Oh yeah,
But-
right. Yeah.
Yeah, it was going to substitute, but it was for the raptors when they're moving. We're going to be go
Mhm.
motion and stuff.
Yeah.
Because like, how else would you get them to move like that? Well, then CGI came along and it's like, oh, we'll just do this. This is way fucking better because they look real. But guys, let's talk about after Nedry fucks everything up, and we get the T-Rex attack. Guys, the T-Rex attack sequence is an all-timer. It is
Oh gosh,
wildly, insanely good.
it's so good. It's
so
good.
intense. It's so cool. It's so scary. It's everything that it needs to be, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Like, just all of it. Leading up from the rings on the water as a T-Rex is approaching.
Iconic.
It's just fucking iconic and brilliant.
Everybody knows. Like, when
Oh,
you see
man.
the ripples in the water.
Well, and one thing that really it's always stood out to me, and so in the Incredible Hulk movie with Edward Norton, right? There's the scene where it starts to rain, and then like he scoops up Betty, and he jumps to this like waterfall area, right? You can tell when he comes down that like he's a CGI character, right? Because of the way that his feet interact with the ground,
Water.
like the wet ground. When that fucking dinosaur, the T-Rex, puts his foot on that wet, soggy ground, and you just see the mud, like the pressure of his feet, just push that mud out. You're just like, God damn, how did they do? Like, that looks so good.
Yeah,
it's the little
had
detail.
a giant foot.
Yeah, but it's that
Yeah.
detail that really separates it from most movies.
Yeah, and the attack itself, like the way it's directed and the way it's edited, is so so good.
Yeah.
Like,
And
I mean,
the stop motion guy did like the storyboarding for it,
Yeah,
so that
Phil
they
Tippett,
actually
yeah.
saw it in motion.
yeah, with the go motion. But
Yeah.
like, this thing is like when my favorite shot of the movie, one of my favorite shots of the movie, is when the T-Rex looks into the Jeep,
Yes.
and Lex shines a flashlight in his eye, and his pupil dilates.
Yeah.
It retracts and then dilates like your eye would react. That's such an amazing detail to put on that thing. It sells that it's real. I love
It is
that so
real.
much.
It is real.
You're just like, and then
it
when it's so
literally
intense
is real.
when it bites through and the glass is just all that's separating, the plexiglass, that's so
Yes.
scary. And
so
then when
scary.
and
I can't
then
think
when
of
it's,
anything scarier than that.
no, and then it's flipped upside down and it's crushing them, and
Yeah.
Dr. Grant does the whole
The flare,
thing.
distraction.
And then Malcolm tries to help, and does the same thing. He just doesn't know what he's doing.
Yeah.
So, he's like, freeze, and he just runs. And, when I was a kid, when the lawyer gets eaten was always one of my favorite. It always made me laugh because I always was like, he's on the toilet. It's like he's pooping.
Yeah. Toilet situation. I always really freaked me out.
Yeah, well, he gets like crunched.
Like, he gets crunched like that. So scary. I remember seeing that when I was a kid and being like, sick to my stomach. Like, dude, that guy is dead. I just watched him actually die.
It's so cool. And then, like, the whole scene, the T-Rex looks amazing. The rain, everything about it just is so scary and good. And it's so intense. And here's the kicker of it, guys. there's no music.
No music.
There's no music in the scene. It's scoreless. And it's such a brilliant choice by Spielberg and John Williams to have it non-scored during that scene. The music doesn't kick in until the Jeep starts to fall.
Which is where this like horror really comes in, I feel like. It's just the silence of just sitting with the fact that these guys cannot do anything.
No, they are facing a giant carnivorous dinosaur, the king, the apex predator.
Yes.
And you're just like, oh my god.
The tyrant.
I do want to throw one thing out there.
Yeah.
Look, I know that T-Rexes are scary. I know Velociraptors are scary. If I were going to open up a dinosaur amusement park, I would have just done it with fucking herbivores.
Yeah. But where's the fun in that?
I get it. But, you still would have been like, oh, dinosaurs. But, you wouldn't have that opportunity for one of them to break out of the cage and be like, I'm going to eat anything that I see.
Well, I mean, elephants kill people sometimes,
Yeah.
Well, I mean, yeah, but those are more, but they're not like hunting
territorial.
you down.
More territorial.
Yeah, those are like, hey, you fuck with me, I'm going to, yeah. But anyway, that was one thing going through my mind. I'm like, man, why would they make a T-Rex? I mean, I know it's cool.
Yeah, for sure.
I think the reason is because it's cool.
I know, I get
that's your attraction.
Like,
so look, if we opened up Jurassic Park, and which line do you think would be fuller, the Brachiosaurus or the Tyrannosaurus?
I don't think you would have issues getting people to look at either one of them.
Right,
I understand what you're saying.
But when you go there for the third time, no,
I'm not disagreeing with you. I'm just saying logically, like I wouldn't have done it.
Well, logically, you probably wouldn't have done any of it.
Well, I mean, there's that scene whenever they are at the table before they go out on the thing, and the three people he brought here to like wow and be like, look what I have done, are like, what have you done?
Yeah,
and the one guy who's the lawyer is like, this blood-sucking guy over here is the only one of you that is like, and that's because he sees dollar signs.
I love the way he says, he's like, the only one that agrees with me, he's a blood-sucking lawyer, and he goes, thank you.
Thank you.
So matter-of-factly.
But it's also like, about like,
we could charge anything we want. Well, this isn't only going to be exclusive for the rich. We'll have a coupon day.
Yeah.
He sees the potential, and I get it, but at the same time, you're just like,
So, yes, this T-Rex attack scene is an all-timer. It's incredible. And it sets us off on our adventure. Because the T-Rex is loose. They've escaped into this, they finally made it out because he saves Tim and Lex. And so now he's going to have to keep these kids alive.
What about the fact that the T-Rex came from where there's apparently just a giant cliff edge?
Well, I think that's like off to the side, yeah. I think it's off to the side.
Well, because
the whole paddock is there. Yeah.
I think, like, it just somehow works so well that you literally don't ever think about it. Like, I never thought about it until, like, probably this watch, like, the last few watches of this, that it's been brought to my attention by other people that there's a cliff there. And
I don't think it's a cliff. I think it's more like a dam, almost.
It's like a wall of some kind.
Like a wall, yeah. And I think it's there purposely for that. And then I think he walks around it to go onto where the feeding ground is.
Yeah.
So I think that whole area is walled off for the T-Rex.
Maybe that's right. It literally doesn't matter because it's like it's perfect the way it is.
So when they so I mean that whole tree escape is fun and shit too. It's good stuff.
Love it.
But guys, let's talk about Nedry's death because it's a good one.
It's so frustrating. It's so frustrating because you get Samuel Jackson like immediately saying like, we need him to get this back on or we're screwed. And then like you just immediately see him just like squealing tires, slipping and sliding all over the nameplate.
Dude, he's a horrible driver. He's a terrible driver.
His glasses are all fogged up. He's just like flooring it even though he can't see anything.
Oh man. Well,
love
when he hits the sign and then the sign just spins so he doesn't know which way he's supposed to go. But when he runs into the dinosaur and he's like, you're not so bad, you're not like your scary brothers, and he tries to play fetch with him and shit.
Yeah.
And it's kind of cute because he's like acting like a little dog.
Yeah, it looks
just
like
curious.
Reminds me of my Labrador puppy that just looks so much like curious. That demon lizard.
Yeah, just kind of curious, feeling him out. And then he says, I'm going to run you over when I come back through.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then that dinosaur makes him pay for it when it opens up its fangs. And it's so scary. That would be fucking terrifying.
Yeah, I remember seeing that when I was little, for sure. Just being like,
Yeah.
oh, Jesus.
Pretty horrifying. And especially when you think that he gets in the car and he's safe after he gets spit with the poison and stuff. And then you hear it. And just imagine. Just imagine.
That was just really funny to me. Like, it
Yeah,
doesn't scare me now, but
no, it's great because it's funny to want him to die because he sucks. But it's so
you don't want him to die because we need him.
Yeah, but if you put yourself in his shoes, that would be fucking beyond terrifying.
Yeah.
Right? Oh my God, Derek.
What happened?
Jesus Christ.
Derek just
what are you talking about?
doesn't even try to mute it anymore.
No, that the viewers have to try to find it with the timestamp. So
I hate this game.
it's the best game.
Man, that's a good thing I'm already married.
yeah, it is.
Hey, remind me and I'll tell you a story at the end of this. Just remind me it has to do with farts.
Okay, well, you probably got tons of those. An endless supply.
One stands out and it's kind of funny.
But yeah. So Nedry seems great, and then we have
what about that sound effect of him slipping on the waterfall? That whistle, like
yeah, like the slide whistle almost.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then when
I'm like, why?
he hits his head. Oh, yeah.
How did they get away with putting that sound effect in there?
Because you're just kind of in it. But when they go and rescue Malcolm, and the T-Rex chases him, is another fucking standout moment.
Oh yeah,
it's so good, right?
So good. I love the dialogue in that where they're like, "Should we risk trying to move him?" And he's like, "Yes, please do risk
it." Yeah, risk it. And when he's like, "Must go faster." And then the mirror says, "Objects in the mirror are closer than they appear."
Yeah,
it's like, what? So
every
good.
time I look at my mirror, I'm just like,
yeah, I think of that too. Yeah. And then after they get away, he says, "Do you think you'll have that on the tour?"
I really hope not.
Yeah, it's so good, so good. So yeah, let's talk about let's talk about the raptor attack, because that's kind of where we're gonna end with all this. Is after everybody's kind of made it back, we get the raptor attack on Muldoon, and
Great
Ellie.
Scene.
Great scene. So Muldoon basically says, tells her to run. He distracts the raptor, so he's going to hunt the raptor. And so she goes to turn on the power in the place. And she thinks she's, relatively safe in here. And we have this great cross-cutting tension between that and them climbing down the electrified fence. And it's such a good scene. So intense, right?
So intense,
mm-hmm.
yeah.
So good. You're just like, oh my God. And you're like, Tim, jump.
You can't
fucking jump, Tim. Just
get
jump.
A break. You just
I
can't
know.
get a break in this. There's so much.
And I feel for Tim so much. Like, as I was watching it this time, being a father of a son, he kind of reminds me of Connor, just because I think all little boys now do in movies. But like, I was just like, oh man, I love this kid. It's like, jump, Tim, jump. But it seems so great.
Yeah, it's like,
and then
the parental situation really kicks in when it's a survival.
Well,
situation.
And then Grant has to bring him back because it's like this scary bit where it's like
he's not breathing.
It's like he's not breathing, and then we have a moment of him trying to bring him back, and I imagine how his poor sister's like fucking freaking out, and then they bring him back.
She's just like ugly crying over just waiting.
Yeah, oh my God. And then Ellie gets attacked by a raptor after she finds Mr. Arnold's fucking arm.
No, the raptor jumps out, and then
raptor jumps out first, then the arm. Yeah.
That scene is that's might be one of my favorite scenes in this whole movie.
It's the way the raptor jumps out. Yeah. And the way it's ripping at the fence.
Her performance sells it perfectly.
Yeah, and the way it's ripping at the fence is so cool. Then Muldoon gets taken out by the raptor, by the two. I love that clever girl.
Yep.
and then he's
Iconic line.
face eaten.
Never go.
Yep, face is eaten, and then we get that cool shot of like the dino's eyes and the snake.
Yeah, Python.
Yeah, it's so cool. But guys, this third act with the raptors is just so good. Everything about it is so good. The kitchen scene is one of the best scenes ever made, right?
Yeah. The scariest thing for me when I was a little girl was,
Dude,
I used to have nightmares.
This was the scene, by the way, that her brother had to like.
Oh yeah, dude.
Yeah, because it's intense as fuck.
It's so suspenseful. It's so intense.
It's so suspenseful. It's so scary. It's so cool. Like there's so many, like just the tension's just ratcheted up to 11, and especially when the raptor jumps up on the table or up on the counter, because then you're like, oh, okay, now they're fucking, because they're already showing their problem solving. They open the door and shit. Like these are intelligent creatures. These things don't fuck around.
Yeah, they look so cool.
They look so cool, especially the bit where it has the close up of the paw. So good, so good. And they're doing that. It calls the other one. Burr, burr.
Yeah,
it comes in. I love the bit where Ellie is trying to lower the thing, and the raptor sees her and attacks her, and it runs into the reflection. It's so cool.
Oh, when your heart is just like racing.
Oh god, it's so good. They get the hell out of there, and then run into Dr. Grant and Dr. Sadler, and they're like, "We gotta go." And then it's still game on. They're trying to get the door to lock with the raptor attacking. It's just all of it's so good, right?
All of it. Yeah, him slipping his little shoes slipping on the ice in the freezer.
Oh yeah. All of it's all of that shit is just top tier amazing. And then the final confrontation with them. Well, first of all, before the final confrontation, I love the fact that how it's introduced. Lex is eating the Jello. He just starts shaking, and then you see the silhouette of it.
So smart.
Oh, it's so cool the way you see the silhouette of the raptor.
Yeah, because there's like a picture of a raptor on the wall, so
almost perfectly aligned. Yeah.
Oh man, it's so cool. It's bigger,
and there's
like
also one of the best shots of any movie happens where we get the shot from the computer screen of the raptor, and you see Gattaca written across the. Oh my god! Just a phenomenal like it just that's art. You're like,
I'm always like, why is there a projector? Like, what's happening there?
Doesn't matter.
I never understand that part, but
it's supposed to be like a computer.
It looks so cool.
It's like it doesn't matter if that's not how it really works. It just is a perfect shot.
Yeah.
So it's like, put it in there. It's perfect. Love it so much.
It is. It's so cool.
And then we get the final confrontation with these raptors, where we get like this chaos. So this ending was changed. The original ending to this movie was that Grant was going to puppet the T-Rex skeleton. Basically, that's why the confrontation starts on the skeleton. Is they're essentially going to kind of puppet it to defeat the raptors. Like they're going to make it fall on the raptors and stuff.
Oh.
So the T-Rex skeleton was going to defeat these raptors. That was kind of like the concept. But they never loved it, and they still couldn't figure it out. And then one day they're like, well, you know who the fucking star of this movie is, right? The T-Rex. Let's just make her the hero.
Rexy.
And they're like, well, how? They're like, let's do it. Trust me. And they were 1,000% right. Because the moment that T-Rex pops up and bites that raptor and the Jurassic Park theme starts, you're just like, yeah, okay, that's how you should end a movie. I'm in. Doesn't matter, like, how did they not hear it? None of that shit matters. Because it's just like, that's how the movie has to end. That's the star. And so after she defeats the raptors and they run off, it has one of the greatest shots in movie history, in my opinion, which is the T-Rex roaring with the banner falling, saying, when dinosaurs ruled the world. It is just, look, get goosebumps. It's perfection. It's just perfection, man. Like,
it really is.
Oh my god. So what do you guys think of this? I've been talking about it. What do you guys think about this whole ending?
Yeah, I did not know that was like how they were going to originally end it. I didn't know that. That's insane. This ending is so much better.
Yeah.
Like,
What do you think, Derek?
yeah.
No, I think the ending is really solid. They definitely made the better decision to have the T-Rex, and really, really suspenseful for sure.
One of my favorite things to do that cheers me up is watching people on YouTube watch Jurassic Park for the first time, and it's like it makes me happy every single time.
Yeah, because they're always like,
I've watched so many of them, but I think I sent you guys one of them that was like tribal people. Like,
oh my god!
Oh, they probably were like, "Oh my god!"
Tribal people watching this, like people who don't like have access to like the pop culture that we do, watching this, and just like the way that it affected those people was like, I mean, it gave me a whole new perspective on this movie and how good this movie actually is. People who do not speak English seeing this movie and
understand
being
it,
like understanding it perfectly is mind blowing. And not only that, but like, sure, it's like scary and everything, but it's also like super heartfelt.
Oh yeah,
like
it's all in wonder. It's what Spielberg does. He creates awe and wonder. There's never been and never will be probably a director that can capture the awe and wonder of a situation. I mean, you think about E.T. E.T. in somebody else's hands would have been probably a fine children's movie. But in the hands of Steven Spielberg, it's a fucking masterpiece that makes you cry every time you watch it.
Yes. It's like, it would be like Mac and Me or something.
Yeah, probably would have been Mac and Me.
Like,
which is something.
Like, people have tried to do this, and they
multiple times.
They just
but
don't
the ending
the
of this movie is fantastic. The whole T-Rex attack. The T-Rex looks incredible. It's a great crowd pleasing moment. The music swells. I remember being a kid and being like, yeah! And then, they get on the helicopter and they're flying out of there. And we get that, Dr. Grant holding the kids, completing his arc of being against kids to like being the protector of these children and the people that, the person that they trust the most now in this situation. He saved their life multiple times. It's such a great ending. Them looking out and seeing the birds. Because, the evolution from dinosaur to birds been talked about multiple times in the film.
Birds are dinosaurs.
Yes. So
They're avian dinosaurs.
It's just amazing. Like that transition. We see the birds as we leave off on na 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 na. You're like, oh. By the way, let's take a moment to talk about John Williams' score. What would you guys give it out of a 10? I would give it 1,000,000.
100. Yeah, I was gonna say way more than that. Oh, apparently it's the 4th of July here.
Yeah, I guess. Right. How great is the score, Derek?
Score is sorry guys. Score is iconic. It really is. Like you it's one of those movies. And I mean there's quite a bit of them, but like it's one of those movies where when you hear it, instantly that's Jurassic Park.
Yeah. That's true. I did this one time. I was just thinking about this. Me and my friends were all out, and my friend who doesn't watch movies, he's like, the one that's notoriously like, I've never seen any movie ever, And I did that. Like, there was this like beautiful moment happening. Like, we're out in nature, and I started like humming the Jurassic Park theme, and he was like, "Is that Jurassic Park?"
Yeah. Everybody knows Jurassic Park.
Like a really funny moment, and we all started laughing. But
yeah,
he was just like, "How do you just know that theme?" And I was like, "Because it's the best movie ever."
Yeah, of course, because it's ingrained in everything.
Yeah.
So that is Jurassic Park, guys. Derek, for God's sake, you got like 6 times in the last minute.
Fireworks will wake you up.
Yeah, that's for sure. So guys, that's Jurassic Park. What are we thinking?
Yeah, so I mean, this movie is it's timeless. It really is. Like the way they filmed it, it literally makes the movie timeless. You could watch it in 20 years and it will still look good. Because
I mean, it's 30 years old now. It's over 30.
I know, that's what I'm saying. Like
crazy.
You could any time period you could watch this movie and you will not know like what era it was made. If you didn't know, I mean, obviously the technology kind of dates it, like the technology in the movie itself. But as far as like looking at the way that they interacted with the dinosaurs and things like it's a timeless movie. It's a 10.
Yeah. Lydia, what say you?
It's a 10. It's a 10 for me. Absolutely. If I could give it higher, I would. It's a perfect movie in every way. It's super nostalgic. But also it's just like you can watch this at any time for anyone, Truly anyone
Agreed.
can just pick this up and watch it and be like, that's a good movie. And it's so intense and scary, but it's also just a beautiful film and story. And there he goes.
So yeah, I agree. It's a 10. It's a 10. It's a 10 for me too. It's definitely a 10. I love this movie. This is one of my all-time favorites. Guys, I wanted to show you this because it's appropriate. I have here Steven Spielberg directing the dinosaur action figure.
What?
How cool is that?
Oh, the Dilophosaurus.
Yep. Look.
That's awesome.
So nice.
In this little clapperboard Jurassic Park collection.
That's really cool. Where did you get that thing?
I got it online. It was for the 30th anniversary, so a couple years ago.
Nice. Very cool.
But yeah, so it's a 10. It's one of those movies that, like, when I'm naming like my favorite movies of all time, I kind of don't think about it until it's brought up. And I'm like, oh yeah, Jurassic Park has to be up there. It's a 10. So
I was just thinking that too when we were watching. Like when we were watching this, I was like, "This
because we
like,
talked about
might be
how
my favorite
great,
movie."
Well, I like Steven Spielberg. To me, has several movies that are perfect scores, 10 out of 10s.
Yeah.
Obviously, Jaws is a 10 out of 10 movie, right? We love it.
Yes.
Close Encounters to me is a 10 out of 10. Perfect movie.
We need to do that. Can we do
One
that?
of the best movies. It's not a horror movie, or we would, but yeah, kind of. It has some horror elements.
Kind of a horror movie.
Yeah, but and then I think about all these other ones, but I'm like, Jurassic Park is also one of those just greatest movies ever made. It's just a landmark. It like Schindler's List is a 10 out of 10. Saving Private Ryan is a 10 out of 10. But Jurassic Park is like one of those game-changing films that not only is it great for the genre of horror and suspense and adventure, it's just a like phenomenal movie, man. And like my life is richer for having seen it. I feel like it's one of those movies that I feel like if like your just life is richer. And like I said last night as I was watching this, there was a couple times I felt just overwhelmed with the magic that I'm seeing, especially with the surround sound and everything. I just was like, oh my God, the power of movies. This is why we do this. The power of movies, guys. It's just, this is one of those. Perfect. Sorry, I went
like
a little...
Taco Bell late at night.
No. Well, I guess if you were drunk and we were in our 20s, that would be correct. Taco Bell drunk now would probably just lead to more farts from Derek.
Are you guys ready for my story?
Yeah, not yet, because we've got to Atkinize this movie. Who would the great Tom Atkins be in this?
Thrill me.
Because I would not change a single actor, right?
I mean, I wouldn't.
Who?
I said no. I wouldn't.
He would almost have to be like the lawyer, or Muldoon. He'd be a good.
I was going to say Muldoon. I like that Muldoon has an accent. Kind of reminds me of like Indiana Jones, but yeah, I would say because I mean he's cool. Yeah, he gets eaten by some velociraptors, but who wouldn't? So,
yeah. I can see him as Muldoon. He'd probably be pretty cool as Muldoon, right?
I think he could do a good Ian Malcolm also, kind of like flirty,
Oh, he would definitely, but I wouldn't replace Jeff Goldblum.
No, you couldn't. Yeah. You couldn't.
No,
possibly.
No.
And he's far too handsome of a fella to be Newman.
Pedrick.
So.
Yeah, Newman. You call him a Seinfeld character. Newman.
Hello, Newman.
Derek, you had a story. Do you want to tell us what movie we're watching first? Which one do you want to do?
I'll tell my story and then I'll tell you the movie.
Okay.
All right.
So what's your story?
So, this happened today.
Oh,
so
a fresh one.
Ellie, it was a fresh one. So Ellie was taking a bath, and I had told her that I would go grab her towel out of her room. So I go in her room and I pick up her towel and I stand there, and dude, I let a fart that was like I don't know, at least 5 or 6 seconds long. Like, it was it was, it was a big fart, man. And I walk into our room, and I'm like, "Did you hear that?" And Quincy goes, "Yeah, in surround sound," because she heard me because the door was open. She heard me that night. And then the baby monitor picked it up.
I wish it would have been recorded. Just for fucking 5 seconds.
It was great, but her reaction was like, "Yeah, I heard that. It's surround sound."
It's your turn to pick. What are we watching this week? If you can stay awake for that long.
We're watching Sleepy Hollow.
So tired.
Again.
All right, guys. We are going to do a. I feel like it's a pretty like it's not a
Look
classic.
how little he looks.
So anyway, we are gonna do Fear Street, 1994.
Oh, okay. Doing the first Fear Street.
Oh, okay.
We are, yeah. I came out with
Starting our
because
Fear
we just
Street
came out
journey.
with the Fear Street
Prom
Prom
night?
Night. Yep.
Yeah.
And I watched it, and I'm like, all right, I think it's time.
Yeah, we've got to get into these. So Fear Street 1994 is streaming on the Flicks of Nets.
Okay.
So that's where we will find it. This is the first of 3 movies.
Hopefully, I have
4 now.
Netflix.
But those 3 are like a actual trilogy. This one's not part of it. The new one, right, Derek?
The new one is not. No.
Yeah, yeah.
There's no.
So this is the first of a three parts. So we will do that. It is on Netflix. I don't need to look up where it's streaming because that's where it is, guys. So Fear Street, 1994. All right. Well, that will do our episode. Let us know down below your thoughts on the great Jurassic Park. Do you love it as much as we did? This is one of those episodes where we all are in complete agreement, and like I figured, it was just an episode of talking about how great this movie was. But if you want to join us in blowing Jurassic Park, let us know because it is a fantastic one.
The 4
Also,
people that left those 1-star reviews probably are are watchers.
Share those 1-star reviews so Derek can flame you and be like incensed for an hour. But comment down below your thoughts on that. Tell us what movies you want us to see in the future. You can click right here below and you attach to the description, and you can check out the opening scene of the movie. Or if you just watch the rest of this episode, it'll be right there. Check out the opening scene. We are currently in the middle of raising funds for that, and we will give you an update on that very shortly. But please, if you would, subscribe, like, and support. So until next week when we check out Fear Street 1994, for Derek Lemaster and Lydia Judy, I'm Jamie Hiles. Remember, guys, if you're going to scream bloody movies.